Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode about the movies with William Fletcher. As per usual, I am your host, William Fletcher, and I'm joined, as per usual, by Harry Jobson this week.
I'm here, present.
Yep, and this week we are going to be talking about The Meg, because
Greatest film ever
there's a new
made.
one coming out this week. Meg 2, The Trench, comes out this week. And to be honest, I'm actually kind of interested in seeing it because it looks like some dumb fun. And I don't think the first film is that. So I don't know how long this episode's going to be. But the first Meg, I watched it. It's fine.
I wouldn't go that far.
Harry, do you have experience with watching shark films? I mean, you must have seen Jaws, right?
I love Jaws. Love Jaws.
Okay, good.
Terrified.
I was
Made me
worried.
terrified of water.
I was worried you might not have seen it.
Okay, I haven't seen Jaws 3, but like
I've seen the Jaws sequels of fucking dreadful films.
yeah,
They
okay,
are
good.
Awful.
So I've
watched them. Yeah,
I've seen Jaws. I've seen this film called The Shallows. I've seen this film called The Reef, which is a shark film.
have you seen Sharknado?
It was on one time at a party, and it was on, and I was like, what are these fucking sharks doing in my tornado? But no, I actually haven't sat down and watched Sharknado, although I had seen The Meg, and it's definitely one of the movies of all time.
Yep, it certainly is a movie that exists. They have made Megalodon films before. Shark Attack 3, Megalodon, which I have it on good authority, is someone I know says it's one of the worst films they've ever seen. It's in their top 10 worst films ever. And I think shark films just shouldn't be made generally because it doesn't really make any sense because sharks don't really attack people for that.
Yeah,
it's generally because we live in Australia.
Propaganda.
You hear about shark attacks once every few years. I have not heard of, I heard of a shark attack this year, I think, but that's the first one I've heard about in you don't hear about them, because sharks just don't do that. Jaws you can excuse because it was made in the 70s when people didn't know better. I don't go in the ocean. I don't like the ocean. I think the ocean's pretty shit.
I love the ocean. It's very cool.
And for some reason, I know that sharks don't just attack for no reason, but for some reason, I just have a weird fear of them.
Fear. Yeah, no, same. I
don't know why, because I shouldn't. Yeah.
People that go cage diving with sharks and stuff are lunatics. Are you serious? I don't even want that. What, you're just dropping me down there as bait? No, I'm good, thanks. And for the people who are unknown, or for unknowing, a megalodon, big boy. It's just a really big old shark.
And the posters would just be a shark coming, well, a megalodon coming up from the ocean, and someone's swimming, and it's coming up.
Yeah.
And I'm that is horrifying. That is great marketing, but that is horrifying to me. I'm always the unknown is terrifying to me. The idea that there's just something in the ocean that can just
it makes a really good concept for a horror film.
Yeah. The Meg though doesn't work. I don't think it's meant to be a horror film, but I don't think it.
Yeah, well, not really. When the core cast is freaking Jason Statham, Ruby Rose. What's her name? Yeah, Ruby Rose.
Yeah, Ruby Rose.
And Rainn Wilson. Oh no, Dwight from The Office.
Yeah, I completely forgot he was in it. So he shows up. I'm like, what the fuck is Dwight doing here? And he's the big villain boss in it.
The second he shows up, you're like, oh, this guy's going to get eaten in a brutal way. You're like, comeuppance.
There's always that character in these films. You get it in Jurassic Park and shit too. You get the boss man who comes in. He's just an absolute dick. And you're like, he's going to get fucking eaten by this at some point. So I had the film on and I was playing a video game because I'm like, I'm just going to have this on in the background and occasionally just look up when a shark attacks. And maybe that's why I didn't hate it as much as I did, because I was distracted. But like it was fast. I think all the stuff with the Meg is quite engaging.
Yeah,
Like all the stuff with that is really engaging. I
the
love
scene where they're on the coast of China, that shit scares the shit out of me. When they're all like swimming in the bubble boy. Oh, I love when the bubble boy gets eaten. Oh, the best. That's the best
I
part
thought
because he's rolling over people. Like, oh yes, thank you. The shark is my
yeah
favorite part. Like, he's my favorite character in the film because he
yeah
just eats
I
bad people.
all that stuff is really fun. I love the bit where because I knew there was like a twist where it's like, oh, there's a bigger one. You know, there's like two Megs and there's a bigger one. And so when they kill this first one, I'm like, okay, I know there's another one. And then that guy, like, he falls into the water and I think I'm like, oh, it's gonna jump out and eat him. And that's what it's gonna do. And then it does, and I was like, holy shit. And then it like can eats the and then like jumps to eat the other one and just sinks it. I was like, I really like that. I just wish the film was a bit more fun with what it was doing. The
Yeah.
film feels
Just
very
to
po-faced.
just to mention the director as well of the film. Okay, he did the National Treasure films. The National
I've never
Treasure,
seen those. I feel it's weird I've
um,
never seen those films because I feel like I should.
Book
But
of Secrets, and National Treasure. He also did Cool Runnings
I
and
have heard of
The
that film as
Sorcerer's
well.
Apprentice, Last Vegas. What? Instinct, Three Ninjas, Disney's The Kid, Phenomenon, with
I'm just looking. Yeah.
John
Hopkins.
Travolta, Phenomenon. That looks like it's going to be so funny. This film made $530 million at the box office, which is crazy.
That's insane.
Which is crazy.
On like, how much was the budget for it? It was like a couple hundred mil, right?
Yeah, it's got pretty extra. But like, you know how this film was made, right? Someone watched Fast and Furious and Sniff and Glue, and they were like, okay, this is what we do. We get Jason Statham, we get Ruby Rose, we get those two people, and then we get them being badass, and then we get, what's relevant at the moment? Oh, we know that 14-year-old boys are super interested in thinking that the Megalodon still exists, right? So we set the film about going onto this substrata in the water where different life forms exist, and then there's Megalodon, but the Megalodon bursts through that substrata, and we think we catch it, but no, there's a bigger Megalodon, and then this bigger Megalodon is a problem. So they like do all this stuff, and then we also have to have some character relationship in their film. $530 million at the box office. And a sequel.
Well, did you know that it's based off of a book? This film?
No, I refuse. Who writes
this film is based off a book. And they originally were going to make this film. I think this film had a script written in the 90s. Deep Blue Sea, which is another shark film, came out around the same time, and they were like, "Oh well, we can't make that." So they just put that script on a shelf, and then at one point they said, "Hey, let's adapt this script," which is probably why it's so shit. I don't know how many changes they made to that original script, but so I'm just looking up. So the book was published July 1997. They were going to make it within like a couple years of its release, and the sequel is called The Trench, and the Meg 2, The Trench.
Just Mariana Trench, we assume.
I guess it just says The Trench. It's not very specific at all.
Yeah, but what they're doing is they're digging into that ocean lore. The people that are weirdly, the third film is going to be called Atlantis or the Bermuda Triangle. Like,
yeah. Well, there was not a third book, so maybe they won't make a third one. But yeah, this film just is so all the character stuff in this is just like quite boring. Like, it's just like, when the fuck will the shark come? Like, we have like an opening scene, and to establish Jason Statham's character. And I mean, do you have any thoughts on Jason Statham, or are you fairly indifferent?
He's like English Vin Diesel.
Yeah, but I like him more than Vin Diesel. I think he's more entertaining.
I think he's funny. I think he actually has comedy and he has wit.
Yeah, he's very
like
funny.
In the Expendables and stuff, he's alright. Like, but he's not like a cracker part for the Fast and Furious franchise for me. He's never really like, if he was eaten in the Meg, I wouldn't be like, oh no, not Jason Statham. Like, ideally, the way this film would end is the Meg literally eats everyone on Earth.
This is what I wish the Meg was more like Snakes on a because I love Snakes on a Plane. I think Snakes on a Plane is a lot of fun, and the Meg just it doesn't have, which I'm hoping the new film does. Like I hope the new film has a sense of fun with what it's doing, and like because I've seen like the trailers for it, and I really just want it to just be fun with what it's doing. I want it to have, it might have like non mega like I really hope it does like what Godzilla King of the Monsters did, and just have like a bunch of different other monsters in there, you know, like giant squids. And so this film, they filmed it in China, and which is why there's a few Chinese people and there's a few moments of Chinese dialogue being spoken, which you know I think is fine. I don't really care, but I mean I think this is very much a kind of film that appeals to China, in the sense of like China love their big dumb blockbusters. Well, that's why the Transformers films do so well, because they're just robots beating the shit out of each other. You know?
Hey man,
then,
I like Transformers.
really?
Autobots, roll out. How can you not like Transformers?
I like the first Michael Bay one.
I like the first 3 Michael Bay ones. Strictly one because I'm kind
of, not
but I don't
Revenge
think
of the Fallen. Are you,
no, I
like,
don't think
you
that,
like.
I don't think they're good films, but I like to it's like Venom.
Yeah, I think the Meg, a lot of, yeah, I think there's some really individual scenes and moments I think are really great. I do really like the scene where it's like at the beach and you just get the like above shot where it's just swimming through and there's all these people on there, like, yeah, floaties and shit. I think that's really good. I really like that.
I can't believe we're doing an episode on the Meg.
I just think like a lot of what the film is like it just is trying to do. It's not doing enough. I think it's just like all the cast are kind of,
they're just doing their job. It's just a job.
Yeah.
It's just a movie.
Yeah. That oh man, there's a fucking bit where her like dad dies or whatever, and we're meant to feel emotional for it.
Oh
and
yeah.
It's like, no, I was just like, oh, for fuck's sake, this does not feel earned at all.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
there's
exactly.
no character development.
A great film was released this year. This is exactly how the Meg should have been, just different. There's a film called Cocaine Bear. Now, the idea is that but like I loved Cocaine. I thought it was so funny. Like I thought it was really good. That's how you no, but it's how you tell a really stupid story. The film knows it's stupid. It has like a 4-year-old do cocaine. Like not a 4. He's like 10. He's like 10 or 12.
Wait, sorry. There's a scene where a kid does coke.
Yeah, like a 12-year-old. But no, and the film is incredibly gory as well. Like really gory. That's what this film should have been, but just big shark underwater. Like, don't make it some sci-fi Jason Statham jumping and harpooning a megalodon in the eye. Make it like big shark. Like,
that's Tommy Wiseau's new film. You know what I really didn't like about the Meg? It's probably one of the worst parts of the film. I fucking hate that they try and explain why the shark is there. I'm like, no, there's no way you can explain it, and it will be like, I will go like, just don't explain it at all. I don't need an explanation of why a fucking megalodon is here, because it just because it doesn't make any sense. I think it's so dumb, and they're like, oh yeah, you release this like, what is it again? There's like gas or something that creates like a level, like a layer in the ocean, and it gets like a hole in it or whatever or something.
It's like a heat gate, fucking something.
Even though, and somehow 2 megalodons get out, and they don't notice that. They don't get that at all. And I'm like, just what is the? How does this just doesn't make any sense. I do like the scene where there's like 3 people that are trapped in like they're in like this. Honestly, yeah, just all the shark stuff is really fun and I like it. I just don't think the film makes enough with it. Like, we have the shark for like 5-minute increments, and then we just cut away to the boring human stuff, and I'm like, okay, I don't need this anymore.
Yeah.
I could do without.
This film was made for people who are high.
Because there's no plot.
Yeah.
There is no plot. It's just
No, there's actually no plot.
And I mean, yeah, I just remembered a bit that I did like, and I like it in concept. I don't think it's executed amazingly. Where there's that little girl, and she's got that like ball that she controls with like her iPad or whatever.
Yeah.
And we get that bit where the shark like comes up. Which, by the way, I don't know how megalodons work, but I'm pretty if they're like other sharks, maybe it's because it's an older shark. But sharks like have to keep moving, otherwise they will die.
Yeah. Oh, it
like,
does stay. Like you can actually see it like steady itself with its tail. It's quite cool.
I really just found there's like the film. It just isn't like it goes by fast enough, but I don't think that means it's good. You know, I don't think a film. I think a film going by fast doesn't automatically equate it to being good. You know, I'm maybe a tad more forgiving because I'm not as bored. Like I wasn't that bored while watching it, to be honest. I mean, I wasn't fully watching it. I had it on in the background, but you know, I always tuned in for the shark stuff because that's the stuff you like to see. But honestly, like as a whole, the film just doesn't have anything because to bring it back to Jaws, which I would argue is a pretty great film. I haven't seen it recently, but I'd argue it's
the best shark film.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I think it's probably my second favorite Steven Spielberg film, to be honest. The characters are what makes Jaws work. It's not the shark. You know, the shark isn't why I love that film.
It's how the shark affects the characters.
Yeah, and I think a lot of the character stuff there's like because they try to give Jason Statham's character this whole like he's terrified to go back in the ocean or whatever, or it's like traumatized because of this thing, and then he just goes back into the ocean like it's nothing. Like we don't really get much time with him.
We see like a small stutter, and then he goes just back in, and I'm like, okay, so that was a pointless point to make in the film.
Yeah, it's like that doesn't like it's not how you do that. You know, you need to have like a proper, you know, it just doesn't work. You know, and if you want to create a narrative that will get me invested in the film and in the characters, you need to spend time on the characters having character development, you know, and I don't think the film really has that, to be honest. I really think it just doesn't really work in a way that it's meant to. You know, I think like, do you think the film? I want to get your opinion on this. Like, do you think the film is trying to have a big emotional side to it, or do you?
No, it's just trying to be like you need to feel for the family and the little girl and this character and this, and it's emotional and it's true and it's heartbreaking and it's Big Shark. Give me Big Shark. I don't like it keeps trying to force this emotional moment on me where I'm like, I just want to see Big Shark. It's like Jurassic Park. Jurassic Park's great and the characters in it are good. Jurassic World was good. Okay? The emotional bit with Chris Pratt and stuff, I'm like, The
first Jurassic World.
Yeah. But it was good.
Yeah.
The third Jurassic World, I almost walked out on. I damn near would have if the tickets weren't so expensive because it was a small town cinema. It was dreadful. But the thing about Jurassic World 3 is they sort of figured out that you just want to see big dinosaur versus other big dinosaur and have just the tropes. And I'm like, that's what the Meg feels like it's doing, but then it just keeps going like, yeah, but like every 5 minutes.
Trying to be two things at once.
It's like you get rewarded for 30 minute of boredom. You get 5 minutes of shark, and then another 30 minutes of boredom, and you're like,
yeah. I don't think the film is taking itself very seriously. I think,
which is the wrong direction.
Which you should, and I really hope that the second one is like having fun with itself. You know, I really, really hope that the second one is more self-aware. You know, I think a film like this, you can't try and make it a serious film
Yeah, that's what I was
Just
saying about Cocaine Bear.
about yeah, because I haven't seen it, but and Cocaine Bear is a very very divisive film. I've gathered, like some people are very love it, and some people are like, I'm sort of this perspective too that I try and meet films at the level they're being pitched at. You know, we've talked about Marvel a lot, and I think a lot of people treat Marvel the same way you would treat like an Oscar film, you know, and I don't think you should. I think you should treat films
Within their genre, within
differently.
their scape.
I think the Meg doesn't work because it's taking itself seriously. Like Jaws, even Jaws has a bit of fun to it, and Jaws is a serious film, but it's like, you know, from the 70s, and there's humor to it as well, you know. Whereas I think the Meg,
Yeah, there's no fun. It's too action. I don't want to like. I wanted to. If it was a comedy, it would I think it would have genuinely done way better, and it's still smashed at the box office. That's why it's like
it's
getting a
still
sequel.
made,
But
double its budget, more than double its budget. Like, there's a few bits where I'm like, I can see they're trying to make jokes here. There's like a bit where Jason Statham's in like a towel or whatever, and a woman comes in and
yeah,
he's just like, and I'm like, and that's fine, I don't mind that, but like, you're not, it doesn't really work. And I don't know, I think, yeah, it's almost like they took that script from the 90s and just said, hey, we're just gonna not make any changes to this. This is a script from 20 years ago, and we're just gonna make it as is. And it doesn't work. And it feels very,
falls into that like
dated.
Pacific Rim genre of film. Which is like, who actually goes and watches this? Like, I genuinely want to know. I saw it the year it came out, but
At the
that was not
cinema,
on purpose.
you said,
No, I didn't see it at the cinema. I just like we had Foxtel at the time, so it was just on there, and I was like, radio. I'll watch it. Watched it, and I was like,
fucking expensive.
yeah, this
It's
was
real.
well, we lived in an area where there wasn't any cable, like there wasn't any normal TV, so like,
Right.
and we also didn't have internet. Well, we did. We just had really
Oh,
poor internet, so
man,
like really bad internet. So Foxtel was like, we just paid the premium, but it meant that
yeah,
we could actually like watch content.
stuff. Yeah,
So I got
that's
really
right. Yeah,
into the
you lived
CW
out.
Flash show as well.
Oh yeah, that's right. Because you used to live like out in the middle of like it
Nowhere,
was a pretty
just
nowhere. Yeah,
just
yeah.
mountains.
Yeah, I remember because I remember when the Meg came out. I sort of saw a lot of promotional stuff where I was talking to people about it. Like we'd see like trailers or whatever, and we'd just be like, what is this? You know, like I don't get what it's like. This is just nothing. You know, this is just looks dumb." And I'm just like, but yeah, I can't imagine. The thing is, right? I'm tempted to go see the new Meg in the cinema. I'll wait to see the reviews first because I don't want to spend money if it is like actually bad.
Yeah,
I just don't get like there are certain films that just do really well, and I don't get what. And like the Meg just is like it's this weird anomaly to me because it's just like it's nothing amazing. It's nothing. It's just it's so weird how the most mediocre shit can do so well at the box office, and then because look, and then just actually great films don't make any money at all, and it's like, what the fuck, you know? Like, I mean, the cinema experience is definitely. Do I want to say dying? It's not
no,
the
I
same
don't.
anymore.
Yeah, yeah.
I think it's not the same as it was. I mean, COVID did not help. I think COVID was like the real catalyst. You know, I feel like there's a very high possibility that the Meg 2 could be one of the highest grossing films of the year, which would be insane. But I think would be
I see it though.
yeah. I'm sorry. By the way, listeners, sorry if we don't seem that engaged. It was just
It's
there's
just
not a
kind
whole
of a
lot to say.
shit film. Like the fact that we've made like a 40-minute plus conversation out of the Meg, if you've seen it, you know that we have done quite
Oh,
well.
yeah,
Because
and this episode's gonna be like the shortest one I ever do. But and also we did just record something before, which was also about a half an hour as well. But we were far more engaged with that. and so maybe that took the energy out. But yeah, I'm just like, it's like this is a movie that like, if it is on, I won't like, if someone wants to watch this with me, I mean, I'll probably say no, to be honest. I don't even hate it. This is the thing, right? I mean, it sounds like you hate it. Sounds like you fucking hated it. You did not like this film at all. You were very, and also because Barney isn't here, so if we had or like a third person, if we had a third person, maybe this would be a bit longer because we'd have like,
yeah, we shouldn't
another
have to
person.
justify the length. You see the title, The Meg. If you
Yeah.
literally want to hear, like, I don't want to hear a video longer than 15 minutes about the Meg. There, not once have I clicked on a YouTube video thinking, "Oh yeah, the Meg. Let me watch that."
Yeah.
Or let me listen to that. But this episode's actually good because all we do is shit on it. I want to just skip to the rating, to be honest with you, William. It's like a 3.
I mean, I think that's a bit harsh. I mean, I do think it's not great, but that's a bit. I gave it a 5, and that's mainly just because I wasn't bored. Really, and it might just have something to do with the fact that like I was playing a video game at the same time that helped me be like, yeah. I think this film is terrible, and we're gonna do a quiz because quizzes are fun, and look, if you want to listen to us be more positive and listen to longer episodes, we
Wait for Bullet Train.
We just did 3 Nolan episodes. 500 Days of Summer is maybe the most positive. Well, certainly some of them like very positive. Harry's been.
Yeah,
we did the Spider-Man films.
If we did Bullet Train, when we do Bullet Train, by the way, which who knows, I'm still lobbying it for. I'm still lobbying for it. It will be like a 5-hour episode. I will describe each pixel.
I'm looking up when Bullet Train came out.
It was last year, I believe.
August
April?
of last.
August.
Came out last year. We're gonna do a Jason Statham quiz. I've got a quiz up here called the Jason Statham quiz. So I don't know what this is necessarily what this is per se. I haven't looked at it, but it's a Jason Statham quiz. All right, if you like leading men, laconic, capable, and ready for a challenge, Jason Statham is probably on your short list of favorites. This action star does serious damage at the box office without taking himself too seriously in the process. You ready? Ready to start this quiz, Harry?
Yeah, let's go. Yeah.
All right. Next question. Statham and director Guy Ritchie have worked together in how many films?
6.
That is, it's multiple choice. The options are 2, 3, or 5.
5.
5? Really? You think? Can you name 5?
Yeah.
Really?
Operation Fortune.
When was this quiz made? I want to check when this quiz was made. It doesn't say. Okay.
The Transporter.
I don't think Guy Ritchie did the Transporter. Was he in Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels?
No.
Was he in Snatch?
No. Isn't there one called like the? No, he's been in heaps. I feel like he's like Guy Ritchie's guy.
So do you want to go 5 then? You want to go?
Hold up.
Okay.
He's Guy Ritchie's guy. 3. I'm gonna go 3.
5 rather. All right. Hopefully it tells us what the answers are. Holy, we got it right.
Wrath of Man, because he's in Wrath of Man. That was the one I was after. He's in Operation Fortune, which was like last year or this year. And then he was in... Was it Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels? Was it Revolver?
So this quiz is not 100% accurate. It says by 2015... So we got it right. It said 3. It says by 2015 they'd collaborated in 3 films: Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels, Snatch, and Revolver.
Oh, so 5. Wrath of Man and Operation Fortune. Oh, so it was right twice. I thought I was right.
Yeah, and he was not in The Gentleman. Yeah, so 5. In The Expendables, Statham plays the knife expert Lee Christmas. With 3 Expendable films in release and 1 in production due out in 2017, there is I think they mean the 4th one, which is due out this year, so maybe we'll do an episode on it. How many include Statham's character?
All three.
Including the one in production, or
Including the one in production.
that would be
So
4
that's
then, right?
4. Yeah, right. He's supposed to be in the new Expendables.
So that would be all 4. We got it correct. The first Transporter film about a delivery man with very special talents was released in what year? I think it's 2000. Of the options are 2000, 2002, and 2005. I believe it was 2002, but I'm not entirely sure.
Transporter, no, because Transporter 2 came out in 2005.
Okay,
so I think, or 2006. So I think it was like 2006, 2005.
Okay.
So like
it's either 2000 or 2000. I mean, I think it has to be 2002.
Right? Then 2002. Yeah, 2002.
That would be 2002. The sequel, Transporter 2, was released in 2005. Very good. Although primarily a movie star, Statham has done voice work. In what video game is he the voice of Sergeant Waters?
Call of Duty.
Very good. He's the voice of Sergeant Waters in 2003's Call of Duty. He is also the voice of Shrike in the video game Red Faction 2. The other options were Grand Theft Auto and Halo 5 Guardians.
Yeah, see, I knew he was in Call of Duty. I don't know how I knew that. I don't even really like Call of Duty.
How many more questions? Oh, fucking hell, there's so many questions. There's so many questions.
No. One more.
Alrighty. Alright. This is just way too many questions. I don't want to do them all. Statham is the voice of Tybalt in what 2011 animated movie? Romeo and Juliet, Happy Feet 2, or Green Lantern Emerald Knights? I think it's Romeo and Juliet, but I'm not entirely sure.
What's his character name?
Tybalt. Tyba.
Oh, Tybalt. Yeah. There's Romeo and Juliet. Tybalt. I love Romeo and Juliet. I didn't realize it was Jason Statham.
That's what it says, apparently. So
he plays Tybalt. World blown. That's better. That's better than Leonardo DiCaprio's Romeo and Juliet, by the way. Romeo and Juliet goes so hard.
I don't like Romeo and Juliet at all.
You didn't like it? It was so good. Cinema masterpiece. No.
There was so many more, and I don't want to do them all because we've been recording for a bit. So thank you for joining us for this week's episode. This was not that amazing, to be honest, because the Meg was not that amazing. But anyway, I hope you all enjoyed this week's episode. I don't know what is going to be next week, but it should be fun, hopefully. Thank you, Harry, for joining me again.
Yay, we finished.
Thank you all so much for this one, and listening to this one, rather, and I'll see you all in the next one. Goodbye.
Catches.